Appear to be ready. Everyone called home or whatever they had to do during that recess. We'll call this meeting back to order and ask Scott Wace to.
Well, thank y'all. I'm Pete Record. Scott Waste has been around since 2000. We were purchased by a larger corporation a few years after that, Waste Connections. But one of the cool things about Waste Connections and Scott Waste is that we get to run our company like we're local. When you call our office, you're going to speak to somebody here in Bowling Green. The girls that were here with me last night, those are the girls you're going to talk to, or you're going to get to me, or Ty or one of our supervisors. That's how we operate. We get to make the decisions. We get to correct problems when they're that way, and we're here to represent when we do make a mistake. So, we bid all aspects of the RFP. So the commercial and industrial are there in that, and we've been a part of that community for a long time, want to continue. And we have also been, the big thing is we've been the incumbent on the city of Bowling Green. 20 years we've been doing it. Backdoor service, it's a very labor intensive market. 7 routes, 21 people out on the street every day trying to take care of it. It's been a little tough over the last few years. Job market's changed, COVID's here, things like that. It's been a struggle. And yeah, we've done some things wrong. We've had some missed pickups, missed things like that, but we always, at the end of the day, end of the week, we get it fixed, get moving, and moving on. But that's one of the reasons why the bid is what it is now. So trash service at the curb with a cart, bulk and brush included in that. We also gave a option for brush pickup where we would containerize the brush. Put it in a cart every other week. Service would come through, pick it up, and throw it away. That's an option for the customers, to give them the option. So it becomes more defined on what they can and can't do. We know the city of Bowling Green. We know the ins and outs. We know the back where the strange houses are, the pickup issues. We know where they're at. We also know that we can't do it all with an automated side load truck. Yes, the majority of them will be that automated truck, but we still plan on running one rear load truck with a helper on the back, because there's areas where it's not going to work easily. So we want to be able to make sure we're taking care of those customers in the city of Bowling Green. In the county, we've given an option for the whole exclusive franchise, giving you a price for that. At the curb service with brush and bulk options there to assist with it. And then we've done it with a non-exclusive franchise, which is the way we've run for forever. I think it's been a good system. It works really well. We're all competitors, but we get along and we try to help each other out, even though Pac says he doesn't like me. So, but we have fun, and it's one of those things where we're all in this business together, and we're all here to serve Warren County and Bowling Green, and we want to make a difference. So I don't have a whole lot. There's a couple things that are in there. So for the city of Bowling Green, if we're awarded the exclusive franchise, we put in an 11% franchise fee, a little bit more, just to give a little bit more back to the taxpayers to be used for whatever the court seems fitting. That's that way. We have a senior citizens rate to give a discount for those that are elderly and on a fixed income to alleviate a little bit of that cost. We will provide backdoor service to people that cannot be picked up at the curb, can't physically get it there. So those are the things that we can do. One of the other things about it is if we're awarded this contract again, we can start day one. There's not going to be a transition period. We can automatically go into it with the current equipment that we have and employees. We'll continue to service the customers until we're able to get those new carts out onto the street for them, and we can continue to move forward and help that transition be a little bit less confusing if we're building up to it. So that's one of the benefits of us as well. We looked long and hard at the recycling. I think recycling is a good option, but we also didn't feel like providing something that was everybody pays but only a few play type options. We don't necessarily think that's fair, and then we also couldn't come up with a full gamut solving the problem for the county residents as well. So we did put in a proposal that we would haul large bins if they were placed around the county for a fee and things like that would allow people to come and put their recycling in, separate it, makes it clean. When we said that, we weren't looking that you all would just put them out at the firehouses like they were before, but put them at a facility that could have a person check what's going into it and give the people that want to recycle those options to do it until we could come up with a better plan and really look at it. I think if recycling is as important as it is, I think it needed to be looked at more specifically as that than trying to piggyback with the trash caveat with it. So that was our take on it. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? I mean, you have a pretty thorough proposal. So there may not be very many questions.
Well, I'm gonna ask a couple, Pete. One thing about the recycling with your proposal for the recycling is that you would just provide the containers, but there'd be a fee to take those containers away, and then also someone else would be in charge of manning those, the drop off, to monitor, I guess, and do you have any other areas where you have unmanned or monitored recycling drop-off containers?
No, we've had the unmanned ones before, and they don't necessarily work. But it's also one of those things where if we think that's a potential viable option, maybe we can talk about finding a facility and manning it through a couple days a week or something like that to give people options. From what it sounded like last night, the people that truly want to recycle will find their way to do it, and they're not afraid to go wherever they are. So there are options like that, that's the best part about an RFP is we can go through this, and if you think that's a real option, let's sit down and come up with a good idea that fits for the county and Scott Waste Services and the citizens.
And I know you're exclusive in Bowling Green right now. What would you say your trying to figure out how to say this, but your customer service and your complaints, how are those being handled currently? I know there's a lot with, and maybe I'll give everyone a pass on the last month of tornado, but let's go to COVID, maybe the last 2 years. What have you guys done internally to handle if there's been an increase in complaints? How have you handled that, and what is your metrics on seeing if those are being taken care of in an appropriate way?
Okay, so in the COVID area, the interesting thing about it is that first year when we were all under quarantines and things like that, we did not have an operational issue. My employees weren't sick. They weren't affected by it. We were still able to get parts. We were still able to get trucks on time. We were still able to get containers. It's been that last second half of the year where it became more of an issue, where supply chains for parts for a truck. I knew exactly what was wrong with the truck, but I couldn't get the part to fix it and couldn't rob it from another truck because it was out running in its place. So those were some issues we had. Then we would go through the system where we would have one guy out with COVID, and when one of them got it, it would multiply into 2 or 3. And to communicate it, we were doing the best we could. And at the end of the week, when we did have a complaint or an issue, one, we try to resolve it that day as first as possible. The girls in the office get that phone call, they elevate it up to a supervisor. If it's not resolved at that point, it gets elevated again. And, there's times where it does blow up when you're short-handed like that, you're short bodies, you're short trucks. And I think everybody has experienced that, where we do get to that thing. But when it gets elevated, and I think Rex told me, When Rex calls, or will you call and then have an issue, we'll get it rectified immediately for that. And one of the things that we can do on a normal operation, and even with this new style of system going forward, it's not going to be as much manpower that I'm going to need, that I have the flexibility with another. I only have to replace one driver versus 3 people, that we shouldn't have those issues. But when we're having issues and things like that, I can think over the last 2 years that I've had a handful of phone calls from probably almost every one of you. But it's not been a constant thing. I haven't sat here in a room and had to talk about that before and defend myself. I've been in this room numerous times over the 10 years I've been here. I don't think I've ever been in here for a bad reason. It's always been for good reasons. So yes, we do have issues. I would love to tell you we don't. I would love to, that we're never going to have them in the future. But the idea behind it is we will get through it, get it fixed, and make things better. I think the way this RFP reads and how what's been proposed will eliminate a lot of those issues. But
How is that?
just because of the late, like backdoor service in Bowling Green. If I'm not familiar with that route, I don't know where your cart's at. I know where your house is, I know the streets, but I don't know that Tom has his behind the bush around the corner and things like that. And how I realized the benefit of that is I had a senior helper on a route. And I was walking down the driveway to go look for a cart. He's like, they're not home. I was like, what do you mean they're not home? Cart's not out, they're not home. Or don't go that side, go to this side. That's the speed of it. Well, now that it's all going to be at the curb, any substitute driver, spare guy can see it exactly where it's at to pick it up and know what to do with it.
You said that the backdoor service would be offered to someone who needed it possibly. What would be the difference in the price and what would be the criteria?
The price would be the same as far as that goes, but it would be, they would have to submit some type of medical form to
request for it.
Yep, to request for them to be that way. And now we would ask if they have an able-bodied person in their home that can still pull it to the curb, that they would do that as well. But we understand, I have a
95-year-old lady.
yeah, I have some friends of ours that are 87 years old. She got some hip problems, things like that. They still live on their own, still get things done, but I'm gonna go get that cart for them, as long as they call and let us know.
Would those situations still be on the same route, or would they be serviced with a separate?
It's still the same route. The driver that's in that automated truck will go get it and come back out.
Okay, so they'd have to stop and get out.
Yeah, but it's things like, we already do that kind of system in the county already, so we would continue that with Bowling Green.
Now, moving to the automated system, there are some areas that it's not going to be possible. I'm thinking my block.
Yeah, and it's tough. So that's one of the reasons for the proposal of to have a rear load truck where, it's still going to be on the curb, but those trucks can't reach it and physically get them because of there's cars on the street or things like that. There are a few houses that are in alleys that it would be tough to get a automated truck down that street. So those are the areas that we would service with those things. Because we know it, and they're going to get identified as we go and we do the transition where we're going to have to do it, and we'll have to make adjustments, but we have that plan in place because we know it's not going to work everywhere.
Okay, so they would still, like 1300 block of College, currently you're going down the alley, we would bring it to the curb.
Bring it to your actual street, but I think there's on Park somewhere, I think that the houses are so close together that they couldn't physically get it up to the front of the house without going through their house, that we might need to make exceptions. We can have meetings and say, this area will still be done in an alley or however it needs to be. But yes, if it was in an area where, there's places in downtown Bowling Green is basically where this is all at, that we realize that a side loader, it can drive up and down the street just fine. It's just not going to be able to access that cart.
Right.
So that's why we propose to have that rear loader in place as well.
Okay.
For those areas where we can run an automated side load wrapper truck, we would absolutely do it.
And the good news is Mark and Rex both qualify for the senior citizen rate.
Jeez, Pete.
Continue that sometime longer.
Wow, wow.
Sean, will you know your questions?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, I'll wait for you.
You know, in early 2021, I think there was, you guys floated adding recycling into the mix. Why the reversal of course?
Well, that was more of in the middle of 2020. And it was at that point in time, we didn't hit this labor shortage yet. A lot has changed over the course of that time. And at that point in time, it was also only a subscription style service in the bowling green, where we were trying to look and say, hey, this made some sense. Now I'm kind of glad you didn't take that option, because if it would have worked, I mean, great, I would have had the contract for a little while longer and everything else like that, but I would have been still struggling with labor issues. So it ended up working in my favor that you all didn't go that route.
All right, Pete. Have an existing, not exclusive franchise, you're subject to get beat up a little more because you're the one who's been doing it. Okay, it's just the nature of how things are. But I do have a concern in my area where a lot of bulk pickup stuff is being neglected for long periods of time. And I've called, and I'm not necessarily talking to you personally, but I've gone through different places, and it's just something that I can tell you that just in my district, which it's not exclusive, but you still have the contract, you're still servicing those clients on the bulk pickup stuff has been the biggest problem that I've seen about my constituents is that. And I've been told one truck, one driver, more than once, and he's an elderly gentleman, that how are you going to fix that? Because as we move forward, I can tell you, I was at all the pre-bid meetings, I've discussed how the nature of how even things are changing in the rental business where people are just leaving. They're moving out of an apartment and they leave everything in there. So the bulk pickup stuff is becoming a bigger issue amongst that segment of business. But in general, I mean, I'm talking about people out in the county who really have serious problems.
So what this will be like is, one, because we've had some body shortages, that we had a tendency to not get to those bulk pickups in the county as fast as we would have liked to. But by doing the non-exclusive franchise or the exclusive franchise, and I can win that again, and I switch how I'm doing it in the city, I have just freed up potentially 10 other employees that can handle the issues in the county or issues like that going forward, where they're out on the street more than I have to have that body to run the city of Bowling Green, because I need every able body I personally can to take care of that.
Right. So, but that still goes back to, potentially another equipment. If I was told it was only one truck doing all the bulk pickup, is that enough for what we're doing?
So, no, but in this, I get awarded the contract, I have the ability to buy another bulk truck, but I also have these rear load trucks that are still viable pieces of equipment that I can now mobilize to do that job. Yes, like I said, we're not perfect, but when we get something brought to our attention as fast as we possibly can, we can get out there and get it taken care of. But it's also in this new contract, we're limiting the amount of bulk that you can do. That somebody moves out and throws everything out on the street, I can't be held liable to pick it all up like we were in this last franchise.
Right. Because it's a serious problem.
It is a major problem.
It's right around the middle of it. I understand that. The last thing I would say, and again, this is not picking or whatever, as I read the franchise agreement, whoever we award something to has to have the manpower and everything involved to be able to do the job. And I understand there's challenges within everybody's sector of employees, everybody's sector. But that's something as we're considering awarding this franchise, it's not our problem. I mean, it's something that I really want to make sure that whoever's listening to me, that this is something, if we're awarding you either the exclusive franchise or the non-exclusive franchise, and you're saying we're going to do the job, quite frankly, this may sound ugly. I don't care about your employee shortage. I care about what the customers and the people who call me, who complain to me all the time about, whatever's not being done. So I am sympathetic toward the problem because trust me, it's in every segment of our industry, but it's also something that's really not our problem. We just want to make sure that everybody can have the ability to do the services that they're trying to bid and get awarded.
And I would agree with you, but I think what we've experienced over the last 2 to 3 years is something that we didn't see back in 2000 when it was awarded and bid this way and things like that. Even just think about the job market. Let's talk about that in here. Bowling Green, Warren County is an awesome place. There are so much businesses coming in that there's not enough employees for anybody. That's why McDonald's shuts down or Waffle House doesn't have, they're not open 24 hours anymore because they can't find the employees. All these places are booming up. Now, the great part about it is they're coming, but that means they're also coming for us. And by changing the way we are allowed to do things, I have very good employees that I can reassess to other areas to get done, plus have the equipment to do it.
Well said, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And it's easy to be the target because you're
I've
you're on your seat right now. So.
I've been the target for forever. I mean, it's when you're the incumbent, when you're in the city of Bowling Green, this is who we are. We take care of, over half of Warren County. Right. And that we're the biggest target, so we get it.
So you do not anticipate reducing your workforce with this change in the automation?
I probably won't. We rely on a lot of temp labor at this point in time. So as far as my temp laborers go, I will not be employing them as much, which will be good because they can go work in a different factory or whatever. But the people that are my full-time employees, I have spots for each and every one of them. One, to support the system the way we've bid it, and two, that there's other things that I can allocate because my commercial business is growing, my industrial business is growing at the same time. So I have other jobs for them to do. To one, I now can pay them a little bit more money for other things they're doing, plus give them a better benefit of life that they're not pushing 60 hours every week, that they only have to work 55 hours a week or whatever it is to give them the quality of life they have.
Mm-hmm.
We have about 17 minutes more actually for questions if you'd like to ask questions, but I'd like to ask one. Your proposal mentions that as far as bulk waste, these other materials, people can take that down to Logan County and get rid of it down there.
Yeah, so I guess that's
How likely are people to do that?
There's a lot of people that do that. So in our proposal, we have a transfer station that's right outside the county lines in South Union Township, right in front of the grain bins, that if you are one of our customers, you can come down to there and bring up one load a month up to a ton for no charge. If you're one of our customers, we provide that to you. So if you have a customer, if they're moving out and whatever, if you bring it to us, we'll let you dump it for free. If it goes over that, I think there's a price in there. If it goes over that ton, we'll charge you a little bit more. But, look, it makes it easier for us than us to have to try to deal with it, even if it's one bulk item, we're picking one up a week or whatever it is. That's a service that's a true benefit for somebody. And it always, as long as that person's with it and they can prove that they're one of our customers, that's what we'll do. And if it's the city of Bowling Green, that's going to be everybody, if awarded the contract.
And if someone consistently has more waste than fits in their cart, they can rent an additional cart?
They can rent an additional cart, yes, sir.
And even that's been something I know through my people who, renters moving into the place, they're taking 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks to get it. How is that supply line?
That supply line is still crazy. yes, when we're gonna buy 8,000 or 18,000 carts, yeah, they'll move things around to get them to us quickly. But it takes some time, there for a while. We're coming out of the problems they were having 6-8 months ago, where resin was a tough thing to get in production, and even their own production lines were affected by COVID. That's coming back online, and now I'm about, if I order just one load of carts, it's within 3 to 4 weeks. So we're staying ahead of it, but when we get behind it, it'll be better. The other cool thing about it is if we go to this cart system, it will not be, if they're in the city, everybody will get a cart anymore. And you won't take mine from my apartment because I was renting one, but you weren't. You already have one. So it'll be a little bit more balanced where, because, every time I turn around, hey, my cart's missing. Well, I'd go behind the house and it's sitting at apartment A versus apartment D because, oh, it's mine, I'm gonna take it. So that should eliminate a lot of those issues as well.
Any other questions? Pete, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, guys. And ladies.
All righty. Next is Green River Waste.
Still 10 minutes till noon, so good morning. My name's Dave Jolly. I'm with Green River Waste. My brother-in-law, Lewis White, and our father-in-law, Shirley Fleener, are here with us today. Thank you to the Warren County Solid Waste Division, the committee, magistrates, and Judge Buchanan for this opportunity. We really appreciate it. We're a small family-owned business in Butler County and Bullitt County. So we operate out of Morgantown and a small town called Brooks, Kentucky, just south of Louisville where I live. And Lewis operates the Morgantown branch of our business. Our business was started a little bit more than 10 years ago in December of 2011. We handle residential, industrial, and commercial waste with rear load residential commercial trucks and roll-off trucks in Louisville and in Morgantown. Now, the Louisville side of our business only does the roll-off, and then down here we do rear load and roll-off. Shirley brings the most experience to the team. He has 30 years of garbage experience. Lewis has 20, and I'm not as old as either of them. We really do appreciate this opportunity. It makes a lot of sense for our business to grow into the Warren County area. We don't, we're not frilly, we are who we are. We're a small family-owned business. We offer great customer service. We answer our phone when people call. We talk through what their questions are about hauling their trash. We try to work with them to come up with solutions that make them happy and keep them coming back to us. We offer to you all, because this is important to you guys, a seamless integration into the franchise if we should be awarded a franchise. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to change the status quo or anything. We want to work with you all to keep your people happy in Warren County so that they continue to use Green River Waste. We have local ownership. Like I said, our guys live right down the road. They answer their phone when people call. You can call Lewis pretty early in the morning until pretty late in the evening, and he'll talk through things, and then I'm available as well. We have a lot of CDL drivers. We have more CDL drivers than we do trucks available right now, just to have people that can be changed in and out to cover the work. We've got 15 guys that hold CDLs in the Louisville and Morgantown offices. I think that's all that I wanted to say to you all. I would like to open us up to questions if you have.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So in Morgantown, how many customers are you currently serving and how many trucks do you run?
In Morgantown, we run 3 residential trucks and 2 roll-off trucks. We have over 3,000 residents that we serve, and then the commercial and industrial. How many commercial and industrial customers do you have in there?
Probably about 600.
Okay.
So in Butler County, there are other providers operating in the residential market in addition to you, or are you all providing all of the residential service?
We don't provide all the residential service, but we provide the overwhelming majority of it. There's a couple companies that use pickup trucks, and but I'm just guessing, but I think probably more than 90% of Butler County.
And where's the disposal site that you use?
Ohio County.
Okay. And do you operate a transfer station either in your Louisville operation, Bullitt County area, or in Butler County?
We do not operate any transfer stations.
Do you have a sense of how many routes or how many trucks you guys would need for Bowling Green in Warren County?
Do I have a sense for how many we want to add? I don't know if I understand your question completely.
Well, how many do you think it would take to get the job done? Maybe I should ask that above what you have right now. I'm just trying to determine if you have, you've got 3 trucks in Butler County, is that right?
Three rear load
Three rear
trucks
loaders,
and
how many-
2
I mean,
roll-off trucks.
I guess I'm asking how many you think it would take to do just Bowling Green, Warren County?
Well, I've been thinking about that as well, but I've been processing this more as who can we continue to offer the level of service to. You can grow too fast in the garbage business, and we don't want to grow too quickly. We offer exemplary service in this industry. And we want to continue doing that, and I don't want to spread us too thin. We want happy customers. Happy customers tell other people, and that's how we want to grow.
So your interest is in the county non-exclusive residential market, if I'm understanding, and maybe commercial, industrial, and
That's
roll-off?
correct, yes.
Just, yeah.
Okay.
Does your price include the container, the $32 per month?
It does.
Any other-
Recycling option of any kind.
We do some roll-off recycling. We haul, if somebody has a huge a 10-yard, 15, 20, 30-yard recycling requirement, we can work with that. And again, we talk to our customers, we talk to our potential customers. If they've got questions about something like that, we can direct them to the right places.
Any other comments, questions? Stan? You good? Gentlemen? All right.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, guys.
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you all for being here. How are you, Mr. Taylor?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good, I'm good.
Good. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tremaine Taylor, owner of Taylor Sanitation. We're a local, family-owned business. Been around here for 50-plus years, 80 if you consider the time that it wasn't Taylor Sanitation. We proposed a bid for the non-exclusive county and commercial industrial. I tend to think we have a rather unique business because we are personable. We are, I think, the only actual local company that has been here since the franchise. Exactly. Exactly. I'm on pretty much a first name basis with the majority of my customers. Half of the customers actually probably saw me grow up. So,
Some of them last night said they would feed you pie or something every time you came in.
exactly. Most of them do. We just do our job. We like to make sure that the neighborhoods are taken care of. Any complaints, most of them talk to me directly or talk to my wife or my staff, and we work to make sure that we resolve any problems that occur as fast as we can. You know, like a lot of people have said, we all have come across different issues and problems in the past year, 2 years, you know, whether it being with, you know, as Pete said, parts for truck. It may be a 15-minute fix, but it may be 6 weeks before you can get a part for a truck, or even ordering containers, you know. I had an instance where I ordered containers and they told me 3 weeks and it was 6 months before they showed up. So those types of things, those are some of the issues that we have. We don't have many complaints. Most of the time, if there's something going on, our customers are calling and asking if something's wrong with, or if someone's sick. You know, it's not, well, you missed my trash, or, you know, we tend to be consistent, you know, and consistency is what we strive for, and excellence is another thing that we strive for, you know. I know that we have some issues with I would say help. People wanting to work, people not wanting to work, whichever way you want to look at it. But I believe that spans across the whole spectrum for all companies in all areas. And we've been pretty consistent on everything that we do. And I would be honored to continue in this journey with Warren County. That's pretty much all I've got to say.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Taylor. Anyone have any questions?
Hey,
Sean?
Trent, how many trucks do you operate right now?
Rotating between 3 to 5.
Sean, do you have anything?
If I understand your proposal, you're looking to do the commercial and industrial side of things, it's rear loading,
Yes.
pretty much, not interested in kind of that roll-off, either the temporary or the annual?
We're open to the possibility.
Okay, but not currently part of what you're doing, but,
Yes.
but if, you know, you had a customer with a need, you'd have to acquire the container and the equipment?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Well, we have partnered with other in the past on
Okay.
things that need to be done.
okay. How many employees do you currently have?
10, roughly.
And you've got three trucks that you normally rotate in and out?
Yeah, 3 to
Okay.
5, just
Okay.
depending
Oh,
on
3 to
what's
5.
needed.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? I'm familiar with the supply chain problems. I mean, everyone in this room is. And literally, it's not confined to this industry. It's everywhere, all across the
Yes.
country. So we have appreciation for those things. Any other questions for Mr. Taylor? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Okay. Well, that concludes our presentations for today. Do any of you have any closing remarks? Squire Payne, Squire Lawrence?
Judge, I'd like to say one
Okay.
thing. Of all the people bidding on solid waste, there's not a whole lot of difference between any of you. The biggest difference in any company here everybody's got problems. It's how you resolve those problems that makes you different than somebody else. That's the only thing that makes you different. And I will say this, because we sort of protected this gentleman's family when we went to this several years ago, when nobody on this court was here but me. We protected the Taylors because of their service. And he has got a undeniable reputation. It's granted he's got the advantage because he's smaller, but he can give everybody a lesson to learn.
Anyone else?
Pretty good baseball player too.
What he said.
That had to be years ago.
Judge, I'd like to say one more thing.
Yes, sir.
His father or uncle, when we were in court about this 30
25.
years ago, somebody was asked Mr. Taylor, I don't know if it was his dad or his uncle, about picking up a dead dog. And he said, well, I'm not really supposed to, but if that's what my customer wants, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yes, sir.
Judge, the only thing I would add, and I think I sent them with most of y'all on the committee when they had the pre-bid conference stuff. When I speak for myself, I hope the rest of you should have the same feeling I do. What we're looking for is consistent franchise fees being paid. Y'all all using our roads and the stuff we do. And I hope all of you all are very successful in your businesses. I want you to be successful in your businesses. Because if you're successful, it means you get better product and better service to our customers, which is our clients, our constituents in our particular area. So I hope all y'all do well, and I want all y'all to be very, very successful. But Tony said something there just a second ago that's very important, is how you react to problems is what sets you apart from everybody else. And I just ask that you all give our clients, our constituents, the best service you possibly can, and the business will shake out what it shakes out at. Some of y'all want all of it, some of you want a little bit of it, and there's enough out there for everybody to be done and be successful. So as I know, as the committee meets and to finish up kind of recommendations or whatever, that I can promise you that we're going to be fair to everybody. We want everybody, to do well, but we're going to have to pick somebody for the non-exclusive or the exclusive city services. And thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your consideration to be here and to show your interest in serving Warren County. So thank you. Appreciate y'all very much.
I just want to thank the people, all these people, for coming here today and presenting their proposals. Also, I would like to thank the people that's on the committee for the work that they have done behind the scenes. I know they have spent a lot of hours doing that. I appreciate it.
McWhorter?
I echo that. Thank you, committee, and thanks for your presentations. They were all great.
Judge Hale?
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Court. And as always, my intentions is to come in and not say anything and just learn.
Never
So,
happens, Judge.
Well, I'm trying to compare the two counties and the setups. And what I want these companies behind me to know, in your defense, is trash pickup is an unfunded mandate for you guys. And it is for all 120 counties in the state of Kentucky. So I can understand where you're coming from there. And the first thing I thought of was the roads. All of you get the call about, they turn that garbage truck around at the end of my road and they tear it all to pieces. So that's something else you have to take in consideration, you know? But you all have countywide pickup, mandatory pickup, is that correct?
Yes.
Did that come through the zoning process, or how did that come about? Because we don't, we just have it just within our incorporated cities.
We passed an ordinance and made it a law.
Okay,
And it was started under Paul Patton
okay,
and his initiative to take things out of sinkholes and get people hauling their garbage off instead of burning it or throwing it in the sinkhole, which is what so many people did. And during that cleanup process, we actually found some people that weren't bothering to go to a sinkhole. They would just take it out in a plastic bag, throw it in the river, and it ended up somewhere.
sure.
But it was off their property, so it must have been taken care of properly in their estimation. So we had a lot of people that didn't really think past the tail lights. You know, as it left their site, it was gone. And it was just creating problems for the rest of the county, for the rest of the world.
Well, I can relate to some of the problems you guys bring up, because we're constantly picking up recliners and mattresses, and you always know when there's a recliner sale, a mattress sale, or a TV sale, because that's where they put their old ones out on the side of the road. So, and it's a shame. It really, I just assume they just call you on the phone and say, hey, would you come pick this up? And yes, we'd come pick that up. But, appreciate what you guys are doing. You're still in our thoughts and prayers with your devastation. Anything we can do, reach out to us, okay? Reach out to us. All right. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Judge. For those of you who want to follow him home and throw something at him, that's Judge Michael Hale from Barron County. Or you may want to go down there and do business with him, either way. But we appreciate you being here and always appreciate seeing you, Michael. Nothing else, Sean?
I don't have any, but appreciate everybody's time and being patient with our questions.
Okay. Ms. Milliken?
Thank you.
Okay.
One thing I'd like to add in recognition of Scott Waste and Republic Services, I'd like everybody to know that they do some things that they didn't even mention tonight or last night. Today, I've lost time of reference time, but Scott Waste has for several years now partnered with Warren County and their stormwater management program in having the Household Hazardous Waste Day. They provide 2 roll-off containers for us to put the latex paint in, as well as have a truck there for the entire day for us to take care of the non-hazardous waste that is generated at that time. That is a great asset for the community to have. On the same level, Republic Services has, for the life of this franchise, allowed our county jail employees and our road department to bring the litter and the trash and the debris that they have picked up through our litter program, other things, to the transfer station at no cost to Warren County citizens. And that's something that we are extremely grateful for on their parts.
We do appreciate you very much. If there's no other business to come, we have a motion to adjourn. A motion to adjourn by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Young. Thank you all.